It is, what is today? Today is Wednesday, January the 10th. What's going on, Sassy? Hey, girl. It's your favorite poet. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dudes and dudettes, sexy and not so sexy, big children and little. I am the novelist, author, poet Lamont Anthony Wright, aka Graffiti Bleu. I love this shirt. Can you read it? Can I kick it? Yes, you can. Do you get it? Do you get it? Do you get it? Okay. The title of this podcast is the Just My Thoughts podcast. I didn't do a lot of well, hey, what's up, Sen? I'm just going in and I'm just speaking from the heart tonight. Usually I do a whole bunch of research and crossing this, and I come with an artistic, abstract whatever. But I just wanted to talk to y'all. I had an interesting conversation about fame today, and I just wanted to share it with you. With everything going on in the world today, Sean P. Diddy Combs got exposed, and whoever didn't get exposed with being in that circle, Cat Williams came in and put a big ass flashlight on everybody else. So it got me to thinking about fame, and I have conversations with artistic people such as myself, and we talk about kind of try to have my finger on the pulse of what's going on, and it got into a larger conversation about fame. And the question, it's not even a question I want to ask anybody. This is the Just My Thoughts podcast. I'm just telling you my thoughts. And instead of asking you a question, I'm just going to basically tell you about how I feel about fame and what it means and success and its relationship to fame. And I'll start with a story. To make my point, I'm going to go two stories. Okay. So, first story is about a Michael Jackson concert that I saw. And no, I wasn't there, but Michael Jackson was performing overseas, somewhere in Europe, at the height of the Bad album. So he's riding high off of Thriller, right? Bad was the next album, right? Thriller, how many copies has Thriller sold to date? I'm pretty sure it's like double diamond at this point, right? So Michael Jackson, he is the guy. He does bad videos. So he performs over in Europe. We're live on Instagram, by the way. We're live on Facebook and we're live on YouTube. Holla at your boy. And Michael Jackson is the one of the world's greatest entertainers, right? So at the beginning of the concert, and there's like a stadium. I don't. It's not Prague. I know it's over in Europe, and it's like he's performing at like a soccer stadium. And soccer outside of the United States is like the biggest sport, right? So the stadium holds like 100,000, and it's freaking packed. Michael Jackson has it packed. So what does Michael do? What is Michael's intro? Michael, it, he has this pyrotechnics and all of that stuff, and he's got all kinds of special effects, this special effects that, but you don't see Michael. About 5-10 minutes into this pyrotechnics display, Michael Jackson pops up out of the stage floor. Boom! Huge explosion. Looks like something. It looks like a military plane. The explosion is huge. Michael Jackson pops up out of the floor. He's got on the classic black high water pants. He's got the diamond studded socks, some black penny loafers. He's got on like a silver shirt with all kinds of buckles and belts and zippers. He's got on his trademark Ferrari shades, right? And he's got the glove. And Michael Jackson just freaking stands there for like 15 minutes. He doesn't sing. He doesn't sing a note. He doesn't open up with a classic. He doesn't say anything, welcome, whatever. He boom, and he just stands there like a mannequin, perfectly frozen. He just stands there for 15 minutes. The audience of 100,000 Europeans, mostly Caucasian people, I gotta tell it, bitches are passing out. Mother are just passing out. Ah, Michael! Michael! This Negro hasn't even sung. He's just standing there looking like a Macy's mannequin. Stand 15 minutes. The women that are passing out, they are body surfing these bitches overhead. I mean, you know how the body surf thing. The crowd of 100,000. Every chick who passes out, they take their lifeless body and they just pass these bitches down out of here. He didn't even sing. The point why I tell you this story is because I don't believe that a human being could have that kind of power and be normal. I'm not here to say fame is good. I'm not here to say fame is bad. I'm not here to warn against fame. I'm just saying is how in the could you stay grounded when you have a crowd of 100,000 screaming and maybe about 200 females just pass out because they can't take it. The sight of you, the sight of you standing there in the midst of all this pyrotechnic smoke because it was a big explosion. So the stage was fly. Some of y'all probably saw this because he used this footage in like a tour thing promo. But how could you possibly stay grounded when you have that kind when that is what it is? Fame. What up, Brian? We're talking about fame. I was going to ask the question, do you think fame is natural? But why ask the question? I already have my opinion. You could write a comment if you want to. You can holler at me. You could inbox me, whatever. You can write it, whatever. I don't think fame is natural, although I am not speaking against fame or for fame. I'm just saying for all of my people out there who are already famous or looking to be famous or on the verge of being famous, be careful. And mostly I'm telling myself this because after I listen to the songs I've written, I. It's time, bro. Boy, oh boy, the follow up to Champagne Ethos 2024 is going to be a hot summer, and that's all I'm going to say. Okay, second story takes place in Southside Jamaica, Queens. Most of you guys don't know that, well, once upon a time, I was a party promoter. We had a group of three. It was men and models of exquisite talent. Actually ran a modeling agency for a short time, and we was doing some parties in conjunction with a man by the name of Rick Coley. So it was Vaughn Lynn, myself, and Rick Coley. And right around in the early to mid 90s, there was a lot of leftover drug dealer money from the 80s. And a lot of drug dealers of the day, I'm not going to snitch right now. I'm not going to dry snitch right now. But a lot of leftover drug dealer money found its way in being laundered in these event parties. You follow what I'm saying? What are you going to do with all the drug money from the 80s? You try to wash it in the 90s. So in this particular party, the drug dealers approached Rick Coley, and Rick Coley had a lot of influence and he knew a lot of people. So he had Jodeci. Remember Jodeci? Ooh, yeah. He had Jodeci come to this hotel party in Southside Jamaica, Queens. And I was just watching, man, how am I going to say this without getting too graphic? Okay, what I will say, I'm not going to dry snitch on what was going on. I don't know Devontae or Casey or JoJo or none of them guys, so I don't want to throw them under the bus. But I will say, females do very interesting things when an R&B group at the height of their fame. This is forever my lady Jodeci. I mean, forever my lady just dropped, and OMG. So watching the ladies line up on either side of two hotel suites was very entertaining to watch. And I'm 19 at the time, and I've seen famous guys before. I've seen people, man and woman, go crazy for famous people before. And I never necessarily tripped out on that. But what people are willing to do to get next to famous people is absolutely frightening. So, this is a cautionary tale to myself and to whoever gives a listening. It doesn't seem to me that fame is natural. And I'm going to wrap up this live by equating fame with success. What is success? It seems like fame and success go hand in hand, right? Now, I know a lot of people that'll say, oh, um, well, not even a lot of people, but successful people will try to downplay less successful people and try to play them out. I remember when the musical artist Drake, at when he was on another planet, how he was trying to diss Joe Budden because Joe Budden was at the time not as famous, and and he would call him irrelevant. He's not relevant, Drake would say. And of course, Joe is might not be as rich as Drake, but I believe Joe Budden may have more media influence than Drake. So even though Drake could drop an album and sell more albums and have hip hop influence like that, if a guy like Joe goes on his podcast and says the album is trash, to me that gives Joe more power than Drake, because with a 20-minute podcast, he could say the album is trash and affect his sales, or paint the narrative behind that. So when people that are super famous call people who are not famous irrelevant, it got me to thinking about, well, what actually is success? I don't think fame is success because you could be a prisoner of that fame. Bottom line, you can be a prisoner of that fame. So I don't equate fame with success personally, because what good is fame if you can't even go to the grocery store without getting either mobbed or killed? What good is that? So, what is success? Well, really, to me, after the bill collectors are not banging on your door anymore, after you're not in debt, after you've got 5 figures, 6 figures, 10, the average American doesn't have $1,000 in the bank. Let me say that again. The average American doesn't have $1,000 in the bank. So if you got a stash, be it 4 figures, 5 figures, or 6 figures, or better in the bank, I think you are way ahead of probably 95% of the rest of Americans. So that being said, if the bill collectors are not on your back, What is success? Well, I know what success is for an independent artist like myself, and I equate success with this. Hear me. If your art pays for itself, if your art pays for itself, you won. If I spend $5,000 on a project and get the 5K back, if I spend $10,000 on a project and get the 10K back, or I ain't missing the 10K. If I spend 20K on a project and I make 30,000 in book sales because of the project, I won. I won. My art is paying for itself. Would it be nice to pay the mortgage with your art? Absolutely. Would it be nice to get a 7 Series BMW blue, preferably with beige seats, in a straight drive and a turbo? With your art, absolutely. But it's not the end of the world if it doesn't. So a lot of cats be just like, oh, you're not relevant. Somebody tried to call Crooked Eye, the rapper, not relevant. I'm just like, why? Because he's not platinum? Last I checked, guys like Joel Ortiz and Crooked Eye, those guys don't have 9 to 5s. So they're paying their bills with rap money. So how are you not a success? You wake up, you write, you rap, you do whatever it else rappers do, and you go home. That's a success to me. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dudes and dudettes, the sexy and the not so sexy, big children and little, thank you. Told you I wasn't going to take too much of your time. Let me see. That is a 17-minute live. Oh, that's cool. Enjoy the rest of your night. I got some more writing to do. Instagram piece, Facebook, YouTube,